Okay, we're going to try this video again because Walter is part of it. I actually recorded the entire video, and at the end, TikTok said, something's wrong with your settings, and it kicked me out and made me go to my settings, which then made me choose that I wanted my access to my photos so that I could put my little logo on here to help defend against scammers. And then when I went back, my entire video was gone. That was also after my first light died in the middle of it that I just charged, and my second light flashed through the entire second half of the video. So don't mind Walter. At least you can't smell his breath like I can. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Energy for the week. Today is Saturday, February 7th. This is energy for the week for Sunday, February 8th through next Saturday, the 14th. And if you whine at me in the middle of this video when I re-record, I'm gonna scream. Okay, first thing I wanted to say was last week I had mentioned that February 6th was a very highlighted energetic date for me. Never in a million years did I expect it was because we would all wake up to finding out that you-know-who had posted the most outrageously racist, disgusting POS thing you could ever imagine. That was not on my bingo card. I mean, we've been knowing for a super long time that this is the way he thinks it feels. The surprise was this part not working real effectively any longer, just out the window and no filter. Now I'm just gonna let everybody see exactly who I am. For those who still pretend that they don't know yet. Okay, anyway, moving on to energy for the week. So the energy for the week starting tomorrow, it kind of like, it was almost more of like an opening. So I was kind of like, is it like a roller coaster going up the hill? Sort of, but there was something about like it just widening and expanding. So there's like a just consistent throughout the whole week, start to finish, a building and widening and opening and building kind of energy. There was no one particular day or date that overtly stood out to me this week. So just the sense of like, we're just building. The second thing that came up, and it was a little weird how I'm going to do my best to describe. So I know... So I know that the 17th is the first eclipse. I don't know if it's the 18th in like parts of the world, depending on the timing or whatever. But the astrologers that I am, like, one, who I'm personally close to, and two, also that like through their years and years and years of experience and research and mentoring and reading and teaching and what have you, their opinion, which makes sense to me, is that an eclipse is really only specifically eclipse energy directly for the area of the planet that has visibility to it. So meaning that that first eclipse, the 17th, is really only going to be visible. It's only going to track over like Antarctica and I think part of Australia, like somewhere in that general vicinity. Now, I do understand that eclipse energy can also have, generally speaking, is anticipated to have a bigger impact on leaders. But there was something that came up in my meditation about that first eclipse around the 17th. It was kind of like, my guides were kind of like, tell people not to necessarily expect that day to be a massive, wild, giant thing. There is still really big energy around it, but it is likely related to other alignments and transits and not necessarily specific to that eclipse in and of itself. And it was kind of like, tell your people there's still big energy. And I know that the 20th is that Saturn-Neptune conjunction. I do remember that. I don't know what else is happening around the 17th, but for some reason my guides were like, that absolute specific date may not in and of itself that day be a thing, but there is big energy around it. It is related to other alignments and transits. I don't know what those are, and I don't know why it was important other than maybe just to kind of prepare you guys that like, don't get to the 17th and think you're gonna like pop champagne that day, or that something deeply, hideously tragic immediately is gonna happen that day. It was kind of just like, understand that it's not it's not like set in stone on that specific day. Okay, moving on. The only other thing that came up, and I want to be a little gentle about this because I don't really love it. It was related to the Olympics, that it was the sense and visual of like a pretty icky injury for somebody. And the way that it came in was like part of the body gets stuck where it is and the rest of the body keeps going. So it felt like, does that mean like joints are really negatively affected? Or, man, my head feels funny. It was a feeling of like, I will say for me, the way that happened, it did not feel like life-threatening situation, but it did feel physically kind of catastrophic in terms of like daily functionality and being able to continue in the game's kind of function. I hope I'm wrong about that. I would love for all of this to finish and be like, nobody had a catastrophic injury. And honestly, I don't know how frequent that is, that a catastrophic injury happens in the Olympics. I can't say that I've really ever paid enough attention to tell. When I was really young, I watched figure skating because I was a dancer, and I was like, holy crap, these guys are amazing. But other than that, I don't pay enough attention to really know one way or another. So I think that's everything I have for you. The other thing I just wanted to say is I hope everybody's doing okay. I don't know. I know Uranus just went direct. I think that was this week, or station direct. And Uranus is like unexpected surprises, unpredictable, can't predict the unpredictable kind of thing. I feel like I have talked to far too many people who have a wildly, hugely abundant amount of WTF is going on in my life right now, like piled on top of pile on top of pile. So I just hope everybody's doing okay out there. I feel like there's too many of that, too many people experiencing that right now, and I don't love it. Because, if the world is on fire around us, we could at least be settled like within ourselves. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of going through it themselves too. So I hope you're all doing okay. If you need anything, comment, reach out. We can, might help me know if there's another type of like energy healing sort of video that I can provide or something. My healing playlist here does have just a few of, not a huge amount, but a few on there. More recent ones were for grounding and for centering. So just let me know how you're doing. I hope everybody's well.